invite you to spread yourself out on our warmth.
Remember back in 2019 when Nightdive announced that System Shock 2 was getting an enhanced edition? Well, apparently it's no longer just an enhanced edition, but a full-blown remaster of the classic title.
According to PC Gamer, Nightdive has announced that on March 20th, System Shock 2's release date will be revealed. More information will be given at the future game show Spring Showcase, where the game will also get a news trailer. Why do companies keep announcing announcements?
I don't know, why do companies announce a game 10 years before it's even close to being ready? Welcome to Necro News, the show where we cover the hottest gaming news from the last week. This week, we'll be covering Valve's big TF2 release, Twitch being justifiably stupid, FiveM's corruption, and much more.
If you ever have a story you want us to cover, join our Discord. Try saying future game show Spring Showcase 5 times fast. You know how people are always saying we got X before GTA 6? What people should be saying is we got X before Elder Scrolls 6. Why? Because it was announced back in 2018, and it's been over a decade since Skyrim. But also because we have less information about Elder Scrolls 6 than GTA 6 at this point.
Does that stop Bethesda from banking on their legacy? No, of course not. But truthfully, this isn't a story where we're going to rip on Bethesda, because for once, this is a nice story. The Make-A-Wish Foundation has started a charity auction where the winning bidder will be able to have an NPC created after them for Elder Scrolls 6.
It's not known whether the NPC will be an important one or just one of those random NPCs you see in the game, but if you're interested in spending over $48,000 to be in a game that Todd Howard regrets announcing almost a decade ago, you can head to the link below.
Or you can just mod yourself into the game for free, get the same effect.
For charity booster, shut up.
Fucking Nintendo!
Enough. We don't need to hear you complaining about Nintendo for the 100th time already. Anyway, Nintendo has announced two things last week. First, the Switch's Gold Point reward system will be ending on March 25th. For those of you who don't know, myself included, Nintendo had a system in place where you would get points to spend on various stuff after buying any digital games or registering any physical games. After the closure, you can still use points and earn them for pre-orders and registered physical games as long as they came out before the 25th.
Oh look, another example of Nintendo hating their fans.
Gosh! They've also announced that their game vouchers, which are those $100 vouchers that you can use to buy 2 full-price games at a cheaper price, will not be eligible for the Switch 2's exclusive games. I don't know if that means you can buy enhanced editions of the games for the Switch 2, but knowing how Nintendo operates, probably not. But what do you guys think? Alright, I guess you can come back.
Ha! Our next story is about Nintendo anyway. The creators of the mobile game Pocket Monsters remake have settled with Nintendo outside of
That's right, Nintendo rightfully sued this developer and its subsidiary. I tried pronouncing it, but I'm Korean, not Chinese, okay? Over blatant copyright infringement back in 2021. The court ruled in Nintendo's favor, claiming that the defendant must pay $14.7 million, a decision which was appealed.
During the appealment, Nintendo settled outside of court. The settlement has not been disclosed, but Guangzhou Maichi and Korgos Fangchi have issued a joint apology, stating our copyright infringement and acts of unfair competition have caused significant economic losses to the right holders and severely damaged the image of the original Pokemon games. Which is bullshit. It was a better game than Pokemon. If anyone's wondering why I said that Chinese name so perfectly, it's Dynasty Warriors.
If you watch our stream on Twitch, you'll probably have already heard of the 100-hour limit that Twitch has recently implemented for their highlight feature. The highlight feature, essentially, is supposed to be used to highlight sections of a stream that are longer than a clip's length, but worth keeping.
And we're just going to abuse it? Oh, maliciously.
Twitch streamers, however, tend to use the feature to highlight an entire stream, using the feature as a makeshift VOD archive to replace Twitch's default VOD archival system, which auto-deletes a video after around 2 weeks. Why is this a problem? It's a storage issue. And to put into perspective how large a single stream can be, one of our streams on the smaller side can be up to 38 gigabytes in size. Imagine that for hundreds of streamers, all abusing the service to store videos.
So, Twitch has implemented a storage limit of 100 hours for highlights starting April 19th. This will apply to highlights only, and clips and VODs are not affected and do not count towards the highlight limit. According to Twitch support, less than 0.5% of streamers actually exceed the 100-hour limit, and the highlighted content accounts for less than 0.1% of hours watched. Because duh, who actually watches videos on Twitch?
But of course, Twitch streamers being Twitch streamers are upset, some even stating that they will lose precious streams because downloading them is a hassle.
Which, by the way, it isn't, because Twitch has an auto-export to YouTube feature! Just make a YouTube account!
Jesus Christ.
Twitch streamers and their first world fucking problems, man. Valve has once again done something amazing, as they've released an SDK for TF2. What that means is that for the first time ever, modders will be able to create entirely new games based on TF2.
To give more specifics, the Source SDK was updated adding both the TF2 client and server code, meaning anything from complete conversions to new classes like the dog class can finally be added to the game. However, with the release of the SDK, Valve has kindly asked a few things from the modding community.
First, the SDK is licensed as non-commercial, so if you make a mod with the SDK, it has to be free. But you can list the mod, game conversion, and whatever on the Steam store, and it'll appear as a new game after publication. They also asked modders not to make mods that try to profit off workshop contributors, as that's partially why the TF2 community is so passionate.
We knew they weren't going to give up on modding, and this is just another amazing win for a company that honestly keeps winning by doing nothing. Praise be.
Praise be Gaben. We were originally going to make an entire separate video about this issue, but while researching this document and going into depth about the topic, we realized people just talk too much. That's not how we do it at Necro News, so here's what you need to know about the drama surrounding FiveM, and we've linked some sources below for some more in-depth views.
FiveM, for those of you who don't know, is a modded GTA 5 client made by a guy named NTA, which allows people to make their own custom versions of GTA Online to do with whatever they want. Unfortunately for him, Take-Two are greedy as all hell and served him a cease and desist shortly after FiveM started getting popular. So, what does a guy named NTA do in response?
He's kidding. Sort of. NTA did cease production on FiveM as NTA, and instead started a shell company called CFX.re. Through the shell company, NTA was able to work on, run, and manage the modded client of Take-Two's precious game anonymously. As you can imagine, CFX started getting expensive to run, so he opened up a Patreon which still has just under 10k patrons.
With the funds coming in, he now needed people to work on the client with him. So to ensure that he wouldn't get ratted out, he did what any logical, sane person would do, and he hired modders and community members from within the FiveM community on Discord. Because nothing could possibly ever go badly with that. Discord users are some fine fellows. Modders are, in general, mature adults who never are petty and never have any issues with other modders. In case you can't tell, I'm being sarcastic. For every Fallout London team, there's Cedar Hill devs.
So this may not be surprising given how we've been setting this up, but one of the community members NTA hired began talks with Rockstar to sell FiveM without NTA ever knowing. Only after the deal was ready to go, did the employee then talk to NTA to convince him to sell. And how did he convince him? Basically, since they already talked to Rockstar, Rockstar was made aware that NTA had ignored the cease and desist, meaning he was going to get sued or he had to sell the company. NTA sold the company for 20 million euros to Rockstar.
That should be the end of the story, but not. It's fucking Rockstar and a bunch of modders. So of course it isn't. After Rockstar bought FiveM, a few things happened. First, Rockstar promoted this guy, Ethan Hirsch, to run and manage the newly acquired FiveM, something he apparently tried to do. But as people claim, Ethan began to pit people against each other within the FiveM staff, with NTA being on the receiving end for most of everything, getting abused, getting suspended, and ultimately fired from the team, the very same team that was home to the people responsible for the GTA 5 source code leak back in 2023.
Ethan also updated the rules for FiveM, disallowing servers to have any copyrighted materials, which is strictly enforced across all FiveM servers, except NoPixel, which is one of the biggest servers and one where many team members are allegedly working on GTA 6's Rome. You can think of Rome like a Roblox Fortnite game creator, but in GTA 6. Ethan also apparently mismanaged the team, made things purposely obtuse, and from the outside looking in, is purposely trying to destroy the company FiveM.
That's not all though. If you recall in episode 128, the Liberty City Restoration mod was C&D'd by Rockstar, which was strange because Rockstar has stated that they generally would not take legal action against third-party projects involving Rockstar's games as long as they were single-player and non-commercial. Well, because of this documentation being released, the team behind the LCR mod made a statement. They became aware that one of the paid Liberty City mods suddenly had GTA 4 props, custom scenarios, bug fixes, etc., instead of just replacing everything with GTA 5 props as is the usual practice.
One of the LCR devs took the link to the project and emailed it to the Rockstar employee who originally C&D'd them, only to respond with, "We'll take this to the enforcement teams." However, the mods are still available, some being at the price of €500. This had led to some speculation that Ethan may actually be getting money from it, or if the takedown request LCR received was genuine.
All of this is to say, don't hire people from Discord. What are you doing? And also, Rockstar is equally as bad as EA at this point.
Also, RedM is dead because Ethan perpetually ignored the pleas of the dude who was developing it. So yeah, Ethan kinda sounds like a guy who's perpetually trying to compensate for something.
This week's Buried Alive banger, a game that our community doesn't think has had enough attention, is called Guns of Fury.
Guns of Fury is basically what you would call a Metrovania, but also a run and gun like Metal Slug or Contra. It has all your basic Metrovania bits like secret areas, massive maps, hundreds of items, but you can also control mechs. So that's pretty cool. It's a $15 game, so if you've been craving some retro-inspired gaming, it's a good pick.
And here's our schedule for this week. Ellie very desperately wants to beat Ender Magnolias, and then we'll be starting Silent Hill 4 on Sunday. Also, here are all the games coming out this week. Does anyone else remember Glover already being re-released? Or is that just me? Who the fuck wants to buy Glover again? Also, there's Monster Hunter Wilds.
And that's it for this week's Necro News. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you're not already, that's okay. We appreciate you watching anyway.
And if you have made it this far into the video, post some kind of monster emoji. I'm sure there's one in there. I can think of like 2.
And as always, a very special thank you to all of our channel members. If you haven't already, feel free to join because you'll get a special sneak peek at Atushka Ellie.
But that's everything, so until next time everyone,
Goodbye.
goodbye.